What's up, bankers?
Hello, bankers.
How is everybody doing?
How are you doing? I mean, holy shnikes, dude. That was a good one.
It was a good one. It was a good one. They did their best to make it a bad one.
Yeah.
They did their best to make it a bad one, but it was a good one. It was a good one.
Wait, what do you mean they did their best to make it a bad one? At the end? The VSC? Are we starting on the VSC?
No.
Because, it was
well,
crazy.
we'll get to the VSC.
Yes.
We could save it for the VSC. We don't want to we don't want to ruin everybody's fucking orgasm like they did.
Right.
We want to get to the climax.
Right.
Because we understand how show business works, unlike these fucking idiots. There was that. There was also the craziest start ever that they didn't show the replay of for forever. And then when they decide to show the fucking replay is when 2021 Part 2 decides to happen between Max and Lewis.
Yeah.
We have to see that on a micro. We need our binoculars to see that in picture. It's like, oh, yeah, by the way, Lewis and Max are knocking the shit out of each other.
Yeah.
Let's cut back to that. Yeah. Like they really fucked this up to a fairly well. And then, in the safety car at the end. But I'm sorry, but to bail out Carlos Sainz,
yeah,
whose car was acting. How about this, guys? How about this? His pit lane limiter not working twice in a row. How about you get him the fuck out of the race?
Yeah.
If he can't drive the speed limit in the pit lane because his fucking thing is breaking, how about you don't get to race anymore? You're in fucking last place anyway. Get him out of there. What is happening? Anyway,
a drive-through penalty, and then he pulls over to the side of the road in a place where it's just that's the slowest part of the track. It's literally the slowest part of the track where there's the least amount of danger. You couldn't even see him. He was on the broadcast. I was like, I felt like I was watching fucking Where's Waldo? Where's Carlos Sainz in this apparent dangerous place?
It was a double. God. We were on course for a double overtake potentially, or double great defense, and we got fucking neither.
Yeah, but it was still. Dude,
it was still great. It was still great.
This race was. This is the most kind of like I've been locked into a race though I made me think ever. Like this had the most this held my attention I think more than almost any other Formula 1 race that I can imagine.
Well, the only ding against it is that P1 was not in play.
Yeah, well, when you're fucking when greatness, when there's greatness around, sometimes it's not about who wins the race because that's a foregone conclusion. But we will get to the new championship leader, Lando Norris, in a second. Venkas, you know what this is. This is the Red Flags brought to you by BetMGM. We're going to be talking all things Mexico. We're going to be talking this championship battle. We're going to be talking Ollie Bearman P4. We're going to be talking, Lewis Hamilton, the penalty. George Russell, dude. Should we start with George Russell? This race had so much.
Let's start with the start.
Yeah, let's start with that start, dude. Can we start? Can we start with the Lando Norris start? Can we start a little?
He nailed it. And it's one of the worst places.
This is the worst place to start in P1 for the last 3 years, I think. The guy who started on P1 did not win the race. It's the longest fucking run up. You're punching a hole in that thin Mexican air. And he's got fucking Lewis Hamilton, Charles Leclerc, and Max Verstappen behind him. Mm-hmm. And he held it. Which I was shocked.
We were all surprised. He got I think it was twofold. He got a great. I think it was interesting. Is the first phase was kind of I don't think was great. It didn't look great. I was like, I think Leclerc has this, but he really locked in that second phase, and I was like, he's gone. And then it seemed like Leclerc got a decent jump, and then this is what I was afraid of. I knew that those two Ferraris were not gonna.
Yeah,
it's me. I fucked that note up. But they both were like, it's me. It's me.
Yes.
They were both going to do the Elphaba moment.
Yes.
And they were kind of fucking around with each other. Max got his nose in, and neither of them, and none of them were going to, at that point, Lando was gone. There was nobody that had the room, because they went 3 wide.
Yeah.
Nobody had the room to slingshot. There was nobody going to do a slingshot on Lando.
Yeah.
So the 3 of them trying to fuck each other, Lando had a great start, but then that compounded. There was never a chance that any of them was going to do anything. And I just want to also say,
yeah,
when Max steamed off, maybe I'm naive. I thought that was the last we were going to see of him. Little did I know that that his journey had just begun. I was like, well, he's going to be irrelevant. And then you saw his onboard where he just like, he steams off. He's on mediums. He steams off. He almost crashes like twice. And then of course he reemerges. Leclerc goes off. He reemerges. I mean, they're all still in play, all these guys. Incredible start. And none of us could even process what happened. We're all like, what the fuck, Lando, first of all, we're all like, Lando's in the lead. How did that happen? We need to roll back the tape.
Yeah.
Lando haters are in disbelief. Lando fans are in disbelief. Everybody's in disbelief. Max is back in the race. How did he respawn right in the mix? How is this possible? Because all last we saw was like he's just steaming off out. He literally exited the frame. He exited the fucking frame. He was so out of it. And we're like, please give us a replay. Please give us a replay. No replay. We're all texting. Give us a fucking replay. Whose dick do we have to suck to get a replay? Finally, we get a replay. We're like, okay, replay. And then suddenly they're battling again.
Yeah.
Lewis and Max are fucking hammering each other. I'm like, oh my God, get rid of this replay. Don't care about the replay anymore. We're done. We're past it. You had
your moment to watch the replay. I was watching on Sky, and it was Karun and Crofty, and they're so in the replay, they're like going through each thing, and then they literally go, "Oh my God! Oh! Max Verstappen and Lewis." I mean, Karun almost went, "Oh shit!" Max Verstappen. I mean, he was so close to swearing on air. I swear to God. But it's just all right. Listen, there'll be time. We'll get to our diatribes about the fucking broadcast. But let's just. I mean. What even happened on that opening lap? Okay, so it starts. Lando gets the good start.
Second phase, yeah.
Second phase. Hamilton goes in, tries to get in behind Leclerc to get into that slipstream. That leaves the outside open for Max, who fucking comes steaming in. And when I saw that, I was like, oh my God, let's go, dude. And then they split out. It's the 3 of them. You're right. Yeah. Max is on the outside. He hits the curb. I think what happened was that he hit the curb. So he's trying to stop like on the curb, and it just wasn't happening. So he locks up. He goes wide. Then
Leclerc goes wide too, I think.
Leclerc goes wide
Hamilton just knocks them both out of the fucking race, I think.
But Hamilton also stayed on track. So then fucking Verstappen goes off, so does Leclerc. They both, to my estimation, gain an advantage from this situation. George is on the horn being like, so Max could just what? He could go off track and get an advantage and nothing happens? No repercussions? Nothing?
It's called plot armor, bitch. Heard of it? Nobody wants to see Max penalized. It's our only chance of something interesting happen. Yeah. Do you not want him at the end of the race reeling in Leclerc? I mean, come on.
Right.
Unless he shoots somebody on Fifth Avenue, I think he's going to get away with pretty much anything at this point.
Yeah. So Max gets pardoned. So does Leclerc. Everyone gets pardoned for fucking this lap 1 incident. No, but so Max is he's giving back places. He's like, yeah. Okay. I understand that I couldn't take all of it, but yeah, I'm still got George. Fuck you. Suck my dick.
Yeah, fuck. And, I think he was ahead of George at that point.
He was.
He wrote it, but he kind of wrote a check he couldn't cash when he got ahead of George.
Yeah, I mean,
which was George's
that would be
point.
George's argument. George's point was like, okay, yeah, like, sure, I could go on the outside and not have no plan to make a corner and technically be ahead. But that's the Max Verstappen way. That's what Max Verstappen does.
And he kind of risks his life to do it on mediums. It was just, good for him. Yeah. Good for fucking him.
But then, okay, so anyway, then Max.
One day, George, when you have the plot armor, when you're good enough to have the plot armor, you'll understand.
George needs to fucking beg, plead, and have temper tantrums in order for them to do probably the correct strategy. But then it's 5 laps too late, and then it's just then it's just a nightmare for him. But anyway, then there's the whole thing. So now it's Lando, it's Charles, and then it's Lewis. In my estimation, I think Lewis should be in P2 here. This is stupid. That should be Lewis's place. But they don't do that because that would have been an internal team thing, which I wonder how that goes. I wonder how much Lewis was maybe on the horn about that because Lewis actually made the corner, Charles didn't. Lewis seemingly was had that corner, and Charles, to my estimation, gained an advantage, but not enough. It's lap 1. There's no penalties on lap 1. The stewards are just, they'll give fucking 10 seconds, to Lewis later for something that seemed kind of like bullshit to me. But lap 1, anyone can do whatever the fuck they want. Anyway, and then we're off to the races. I mean, then Lando's gone. Then it's a foregone conclusion. Lando Norris is winning this race,
and that
And then it becomes about, okay,
what's this podium going to look like?
What's this podium going to look like? And where can Oscar get and where can fucking Max get? And
he lost a couple of places, I think. Oscar lost a few places. So he was really, he had to claw by Sonoda. Well, we'll get to his fucking journey. His fucking He had to he respawned in a shitty spot. Jenny wrote Odyssey.
Yeah. He certainly had an odyssey this weekend.
Yeah, he had a real odyssey to get to where he got. But great journey. Great watch for an Oscar fan. I mean, kind of stressful.
Yeah.
But yeah, so great start to a race. It's well, if you're a Lando fan, you're happy he's gone. But then you got interesting. You got Ollie Bearman. Where the fuck is he going to finish?
Yep.
Where's Max? Where's Max gonna end up? Where's Piastri gonna end up?
Mm-hmm.
These Mercedes were looking fine. It was just a lot of open questions that didn't center around the winner.
Right.
It was as good. Honestly, it was as good as a race could have been without the winner.
Yeah,
with the winner being pre-decided.
For the win. Yeah, right. No, I mean it was amazing. I mean, so then that kind of settles, right? The starting grid, okay, in the wash of that, we kind of settle, and then, as you said, we're watching the replay of the start, and then it's okay, now shit's happening again. Max is going after Lewis. They're bumping wheels. Lewis goes off. In the chaos of that, that's where Bearman made up places on the start, and then he was just kind of watching the chaos of that whole. Max, Lewis, I think maybe George was around there, or Kimmy, one of them. And Bearman just kind of and through goes fucking Bearman.
Yeah.
Through all of that chaos. He's watching these two titans fucking duke it out, and then he slips through. It felt like
it was the F1 movie. What is this random? Is this Sonny Hayes? Did they just CGI this car into this situation? What the fuck is Ollie Bearman doing in this situation?
It was full fucking Sonny Hayes, Damson Idris. It was just what the hell?
They put him in. They put Bearman in post.
Yeah, that was
didn't make any
AI,
sense,
dude. That was Sora AI. That was fucking.
It was incredible.
Oh my god.
Yeah, so they're bumping wheels, and what was interesting was. I was thinking to myself, this is we're in playoff basketball, right?
Right.
You didn't call fucking anything that happened on the first lap.
Yeah. Yes.
Playoff basketball.
Right.
Then Lewis gets a 10-second penalty, and I was flabbergasted.
Crazy. Well, also, it's this weird thing there. They have the grass. They've got the grass on all the runoffs where, people run off. In the lead up to this, last night after Lando got pole, and I was like feeling good. I was like, you know what? Let me watch these last few Mexican GPs and like let's see what the starts all look like, because I knew it was going to be like a tough task for him to keep that lead. And it's just every year it's chaos. Every year it's chaos in turn one.
Mm-hmm.
2021 was when Bottas was in first, Hamilton was in second, Max steamed on the outside, and then Bottas from pole got hit. He got spun around. I mean, crazy shit goes down.
There was the Perez one.
When Perez, yeah, exactly.
Perez.
That was 2 years ago. That was 2 years ago. But then it's like these runoffs, they're like, there's not a clear place for the cars to go. It's all grass, and then there's like that little fucking like landing strip.
It looks like a golf cart path that they're supposed to use.
I was like,
ridiculous.
How the fuck from grass is Lewis supposed to find his way and find enough grip to get onto that bullshit? That was it was
Jenny
so.
what is this, a runoff for ants?
Yeah, so I thought that was really fucking annoying. I mean, Karun was kind of saying that maybe there was a bit of a fault of the Ferrari engineers to say like, hey, you ran off, like you gained a bit too much of an advantage, like slow down, let the other cars catch you up so you don't get hit with a penalty. They could argue to the stewards at least to say like, we know that he ran off too wide, but we had him slow down to make the gap what it was beforehand. You know, they could have maybe done that. But then, then Lewis is hit with this 10-second penalty. So then it's just like, okay, he's out the fucking race now. Like, his race is now, it's over.
Yeah.
And then it kind of becomes, the narrative is kind of like, oh shit, yeah, Oscar Piastri, like, where can he get to within this thing?
Mm-hmm.
Like, what is the damage limitation that Oscar can accomplish this weekend? Because, Lando's 25 points, absolutely 100% guaranteed.
Yes.
Where can Oscar get to mitigate this? Where can he get to? And then he's stuck behind.
They could tie it. If they podium, they could tie it. Right.
Which it seemed like, I mean, after that first lap, podium was out of. It seemed like that was, not in the cards. And then it's like, where is Oscar Piastri? Stuck behind Nicole Piastri's favorite driver, Yuki Tsunoda. And I was like, oh my God, she must be like this must be a nightmare for her.
Yes.
This must be an absolute nightmare for her. And, I think Yuki's in this interesting position where it seemed like a little bit that it was a foregone conclusion that he was going to be out next year. Now there's some rumors that maybe he's not, that they don't want to rush Isaac in. Maybe they want to put Lindblad in Super Formula and maybe let him develop a little bit more, even though Lindblad, he looked pretty good in FP1. I think he looked pretty good.
Well, we never know what kind of fuel they're running and it's different programs, so we don't know.
If Yuki's going to have value to this team and show his worth, he's going to have to do, Checo's a legend. Checo's a legend shit. And this was his opportunity to like hold up Oscar. Max is, the current leader of the championship, and to his credit, he did. I mean, he did for a while. He was able to hold him up.
He did for a while. I wonder what happened to Yuki. I guess they brought him in earlier than Max.
The mediums. The thing is, those mediums were kind of. It was tough in that first stint to make the mediums last, and he was in a bunch of dirty air. And I think like that strategy worked for Max with the track position, and it just kind of fucked Yuki in the end. But it was Yuki was able to hold off Oscar on soft tires when he had that tire advantage, and he was able to hold him off for like 5 or 10 laps. Vegas, the 2025 Sports Equinox is here, and BetMGM players will receive an Any Sport Parlay Boost token. To use the Parlay Boost token, add a parlay made up entirely of any sport wagers to your bet slip and activate the token. If you win your wager that was made with that token, you will receive extra winnings, okay? Listen, we got a few races left in this season. There's some money to be made. You can add that to a parlay. I think Max Verstappen is going to be looking good in Vegas. We got Vegas coming up. We got the NBA. We got NFL. We got so much going on in the world of sports. The World Series is happening. So why don't you put a fun little parlay together? And if you use that token, you will receive extra winnings.
Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. Available in the U.S. Call 877-8-HOPE-NY or text HOPE-NY 467-369 for New York. Call 1-800-327-5050 for Massachusetts. 21 and over only. Please gamble responsibly. Call 1-800-NEXT-STEP for Arizona. 1-800-BETS-OFF for Iowa. 1-800-981-0023 for Puerto Rico. First bet offer for new customers only. Subject to eligibility requirements. Bonus bets are non-withdrawable. In partnership with Kansas Crossing Casino and Hotel. See BetMGM.com for terms. U.S. promotional offers not available in New York, Nevada, Ontario, or Puerto Rico.
So what was Oscar's journey? Let's talk about Oscar's journey. He got Yuki. Then who did he get?
Gets Yuki. Oh, I mean, fuck if I know, dude.
He got Yuki. Then he got stuck behind George at some point. He gets Yuki. He might have gotten one more he gets stuck behind George.
Right.
And then this is when George starts doing his thing. Right.
Yeah. Because Antonelli's ahead. Antonelli is behind Bearman, but he's not catching Bearman. He's not catching Bearman, and George is behind Antonelli, and he's like close, but not. He doesn't have such a pace advantage where he can get. So George Russell does classic George Russell thing. He gets on the horn, and he says, "I think we should switch him around, right? Like I got more pace.
I got a lot of pace. Yeah,
I got a lot of pace." And they're like, "Well, you know." And then
it was worse than that. They go. What? Feel free to overtake on track, and George goes, "Okay." Okay, challenge accepted. So then you see, he's getting close, and he's starting to go, whoa, we've got to save the brakes. And that made me so angry. That's such a McLaren move, right?
Right.
Free to race, but be careful. Hold on. Just got to manage it. And then that's when he got mad, which is when I would have gotten mad too. Don't tell me, do it on track, bitch. And then say, wait, hold on, be careful. We have to consider our brakes and our brake temperatures. Right? So, and that's when he started being a psycho.
Well, then they started telling him, manage your rears, and then he's like, I got a McLaren up my ass. He says once. So he says that once. And then they say, the rear surface temperatures are sky high, George. Let's get these under control. And then George says this on the radio. There's so many great radios today. Albon, so much bitchiness on the radio. But this, I've never heard anything like this.
This is next level, yeah.
This is what George says. Marcus, I've got a fucking car in my ass, okay? A car much quicker than ours. I've tried to hold position. I've got way more pace than Kimi here. We can fight for a podium. I'm happy to give the position back if I don't achieve it, but my tires are just getting fucking sacked here.
Well, before he said that, before he goes, I got a McLaren up my ass. He goes, want me to let him pass?
Oh, pass? Yes. Sarcastic.
That was the last message.
Yeah.
The second to last message, he goes, I got a McLaren up my ass. Want me to let him pass? They go, no, thank you. He goes, just checking. Just checking.
Yeah.
Are we racing or are we fucking bending over here or are we laying down? What are we doing here?
So that happens. Then they, they're still being cheeky. He's still like, let me fucking pass. Then they tell him to manage his tires. He has his crash out. He crashes the fuck out. And then they just go, understood, but we need to get these tires to the end of the race. And then 2 seconds later, they're like, swap the positions, Kimmy. Kimmy, swap the positions. And I wonder, what all went into that? Because, strategically, if they were going to try to get, the best, team result, if they're just thinking team, they should have, swapped those positions 5 laps earlier when George's tires were in the best kind of condition that they possibly could be in. Instead, George had to kind of squeaky wheel this thing and scream and bitch and moan and stamp his feet and fucking call 911. And then they finally let him through. And by that time, his tire, he's just been getting fucking double teamed by Kimi and Oscar. Just a fucking, full double penetration situation.
Well, what my favorite thing was he wasn't fast. He goes, I could get Bearman. I could totally get him. He wasn't fast enough to get Bearman, but he was fast enough to get out of Antonelli, get out of DRS. So he was not fast enough to catch Bearman, but he was fast enough to fuck Antonelli.
Right. Well,
so
then
that
later,
was perfect. That was perfect because he didn't get Bearman. And Antonelli was a sitting duck for Piastri.
Right.
No, what happened was I think they're totally in they don't love George enough. This is what it is. They don't love George enough to compromise Kimi's confidence in any way.
Yes.
In any way. Mercedes is mortgaged their entire future on Kimi being great.
Yep.
Kimi has to be great because they let Lewis walk over him.
Yep.
People will say, no, that's not true. And I say, yes, it is true because that's the reason they didn't offer Lewis a longer term deal is because they wanted to leave room for Max. Obviously, they want to keep the door open for Max, and they had a timetable for Kimi. So Kimi has to be good. That's just a fact. So they are really hesitant to do team orders with Kimi.
Yeah.
And I think I'm guessing what happened is they had to check with Toto. They say, hey, Toto, is it okay?
Right.
Because George is making an absolute fucking scene. He had to make Toto wasn't, and of course he wasn't at the race.
Right.
You know, he's got other things to do, more important things to do than run the Formula One team that he's the CEO of.
I do gotta say every time Toto's not there, shit goes down in Mercedes.
Of course, Dad's not home. So they probably had to get him for wherever he. Can I just say this? We've said it before. We get a lot of I know Toto's a top popular team principal. Obviously, he's a very smart guy. Obviously, he's very good at what he does. He got himself in a position to buy 30% of a Formula One team for guys. He bought 30% of Mercedes for $50 million. The fact that he was able to do that is obviously genius because that is a fucking steal.
Yeah.
Because that team is worth billions now. But he's the only guy that does that. No other team principal, no other team boss just takes fucking races off. He's the only guy that does it. And for some reason, we're the only people that give him shit about it.
Yeah.
Why is... And it's not like they've got... You know who could take... if Lando or Oscar wrap up the championship, you know who could take a fucking race off? Zach Brown.
Well, Zach Brown takes races off. Zach Brown is...
To go to his other fucking races.
And he's not the team principal.
Yeah.
Zach Brown's CEO. Andrea's team principal.
Yeah.
I think Toto's team principal.
Right. And I think he's also he was kind of like Christian.
CEO.
Christian was kind of a hybrid, and Christian went to all the races. But at least Zach has other teams in his portfolio.
Right.
Which he's running, I guess. Right. But he's not going to a race when he doesn't go to the F1 races, right? He's at the Indy 500 or something.
Right.
He's not playing golf. I'm not saying that that's what Toto does, but I really think my theory is that they're really all in on Kimi, and they don't really. And George is already mentally fucked up.
Listen, George might have this contract, right? It took a while, but they finally got it done, right? But that doesn't mean that he's, you saw it today. He has to fucking scream his head off in order to get them to do it. And then by the time it was hilarious that he made this whole fucking song and dance about getting past Kimi because he knew that he was going to be able to get Bearman, and then he just wasn't able to get Bearman. Then was the other. There was so much happened in this fucking race because then Oscar's on Kimi's tail.
And he can't really get Kimi.
He can't really get Kimi, and there's this whole thing. It's kind of like. It's going to be a one-stop. That seemed like a relatively foregone conclusion, even though there was that moment where GP was kind of had the mic on when he didn't,
hot mic.
Supposed to. And he
hit the wrong button, and Max is like, "You're talking to me," you know that, right? Wrong text.
Incredible. But then it's okay, who's going to pull? Is anyone going to pull the trigger and try to get a tire advantage? There was maybe 20 laps to go, 15, 17-ish laps to go. Oscar finally is the first person to pull the trigger. They dummy it first, but then it's okay, we're coming in, and Kimi at the same time is we're coming in too. They both come in.
A huge testicle move from McLaren, given the circumstances.
A big
ball move.
And to their credit,
my heart was in my ass. Can I just say when they did this, I go, "Oh my god!"
And we know this
my
McLaren, these pit stops, these last few weeks, I mean, have been a fucking mess. But I think, I don't know, maybe the Mercedes team was like a little bit less, like, it seemed maybe like we were shocked when Kimi even came in, but it's like, what's about to happen?
This is head-to-head.
Head-to-head, Kimi's in the lead.
Penalty shootout.
Penalty shootout, and fucking McLaren nails it, and he fucking gets him in the pit lane. An overtake in the pit lane.
I couldn't believe my eyes. This was the biggest pit stop of the year so far.
Yes.
And it wasn't like an undercut where we got to go. It was like you could see the other car. This was man against man. There was a visual component to it that we've never seen before. They had to look the other pit crew in the eyes as they did it. I mean, crazy that they did that. I couldn't believe that Oscar Piastri was in.
If Oscar Piastri wins this championship like by 1 point, that might be the point. I mean, that might have won him the championship.
Of course. And he ends up ahead of Kimi. Then he chases. What I loved about the George race is every time he got close, this was so fun. Every time he got close to George, I was so frustrated. Every time he got close to George would overtake somebody. And it was like, oh, fuck. And he's got to overtake some random guy. But yeah, he had a thrilling overtake on Ocon.
Yeah.
He fucking almost crashed going against Ocon. Because Ocon, they were like, Ocon, lay yourself down on the track. We have to stop just commit suicide if you have to, because we can't let anybody catch sweet baby Angel Bearman.
Right.
And then what a overtake on Russell. I mean, those two overtakes there was a couple of amazing overtakes. It was Piastri on Ocon, Piastri on Russell, and then Bortoleto had an amazing one on Hadjar. There was some amazing overtakes today.
Yeah.
So that was thrilling. And then, of course, Ken Piastri. And then, oh my God. And then the best part of the whole day for me was George Russell gets his fucking pocket picked by Piastri. Yeah. And not 3 seconds goes by.
Yeah.
Antonelli goes, we must invert the positions. It's like, oh, brutal. What a terrible. Can you imagine that? Right. Your body's not even cold, and now Antonelli's just robbing your corpse.
Well, absolutely.
Of course.
Absolutely, dude.
I was waiting for that. I go, when is Antonelli asking for his place back? Is it 5 seconds after the overtake happens? Is it 10? Oh, it's literally 1 second after after Piastri gets the overtake. It was so amazing. Oh. And then Russell was catching up to Antonelli. He was in DRS. I go, is he about to try to fucking
I know.
I was praying for that, Brian. I was living for the Russell overtake on Antonelli.
Yeah.
Oh.
No, but that wasn't meant to be. But then, I mean, I really thought that, like, what they've said, it's kind of like sometimes Mexico is like, turn one, lap one is fucking lit, and then the rest of it's kind of a mess because, the DRS isn't that powerful because of the thin air and all this shit. But this race just was, from start to finish, incredible, because then it's the end of the race. Then everyone kind of comes in for fresh tires. And it's only really the only people that because the tire strategies today were the only people that did the one stop of the top 10 were the top
Lando,
3. Were Lando, Leclerc, and Verstappen.
Yeah.
And Verstappen, was able to manage those mediums, got them to last, and then, he had the advantage of being on the softs at the end because everyone started on the softs, which was the better tire. Then they all went on the mediums. They're like, this tire fucking sucks to go back on the softs because it will be better to be on the softs. Whereas, Verstappen was able to be on those mediums, get on the softs, and by the end, he had Leclerc, 14 seconds ahead of him, 10 seconds ahead of him, something like that. And then Piastri is, after he gets Russell and Antonelli swap, then it's can Piastri get Bearman? And we're watching this, and it's just, they're slowly, each lap, chipping away.
But can I just say one thing?
Yeah.
Mexico's bacon was saved because Piastri was out of position.
Yeah. And
Bearman was out of position. And Max Verstappen were faster than where they ended up. So if those guys were where they were supposed to be, this race sucks.
Totally.
You know, you had Piastri in a very fast McLaren, because we saw what Lando did today.
Yep.
Knifing his way through very competitive Mercedes, you know, and then we see Max Verstappen. Max Verstappen, you were on the other broadcast. I was listening to Palmer and Alex Jakes, and Palmer thought Max was fucked. Mm-hmm. Like, he's screwed. What's he doing? Is he going to come in and then it was at a beer fest. They go, "Oh, he's not that drunk. He could make this medium. He could make this medium last. He made it. He just was making love to those medium tires."
Dude, GP got on the radio and was like, "This is an incredible stint, man. Holy shit."
He never does that. He never does that. He really withholds praise. Like, compare that with Lando's engineer, who's always like, you have so much pace, Lando.
Yeah.
Even when Lando like crashes or fucks up. I forgot what race it was where Lando completely completely shit his pants, and it was like, "Lando, you were doing so good though."
Yeah.
Like, I would say, and Lewis's engineers, like Bono, is always just gassing up. I just, it kind of depends on your guy.
Yeah.
I think on the guy. It depends on the engineer, and I think it depends on the driver, what they need. I don't think I ever heard GP gas up Max like that. He goes, This is a religious experience.
Yeah. He's like, dude.
He was just like, "You're reeling in Leclerc. Like, Leclerc, you're reeling in at half a second a lap."
Yeah.
That was religious. That was up there. Obviously, the number one religious experience I've ever had with Max Verstappen was obviously Brazil.
Mm-hmm. Last year, yeah.
And it's the only time when Joanna has said something, my girlfriend has said something to me, and I haven't said, "Not right now. Hold on 1 second." I've literally just gone, "Shh." We're in church, you know?
Yeah.
I just go, "Shh."
Yeah.
Please.
Sit down and listen. Sit down and listen to the sermon.
Yeah.
There's a sermon going on, and God is in the room with us today.
Light a candle and just be quiet. But it was close. We were watching a religious experience, and and to a smaller degree, Piastri just after watching the two psychotic moves he made on Bearman and Russell, we were on our way to a thrilling climax, and Carlos Sainz just took it from us.
Yeah,
after being irrelevant the whole race. So what happened? He went off once. What happened with that?
I don't know. He went off, I think. Yeah, he went off at one point. Then he sped in the pit lane. I think he sped in the pit lane again. Like
twice. He sped twice in the pit lane.
He sped twice in the pit lane, and then he had to do a drive-through penalty. At one point,
retire the car. Hey, I have an idea. Retire the fucking car. But, James Vallis was like, "Well, it's good data. We got to get the data." Yeah. Fuck you. You also ruined
ruined the race. And then
there's like some scrap between because Albon was nowhere. Sainz actually qualified really well, which is why it was weird to see him down in the slums with Albon.
Well, Albon had a brake. His brake was fucked up during qualifying, so that he was like, the brakes aren't working. And then at one point, sorry, it's fly in my room, and I want to die.
Keep it in. Keep it in.
Keep it in. No, Sainz.
He definitely went off at some point.
He went off, and then he came in. He sped in the pit lane, and he sped in the pit lane again. And then at some point within that kind of already compromised race, they were like, "We're going to swap the cars between Sainz and Albon." And Albon said, "That's the dumbest strategy I've ever heard in my life." Albon was fed the fuck up today as well.
But strategy towards that, neither one of them were in the points. I didn't really understand what.
Yeah, but just because they're not, they still do strategy calls even when it's irrelevant to everyone else. They still have to do little strategy calls on the off chance that something happens. But anyway, yeah, then fucking Sainz goes over. We can't even see him on the fucking broadcast. They put a yellow flag just in that section, and then like Max still has DRS, and it's like, oh fuck, like, but okay, cool, just let them slow down there and like let this happen.
Yes.
And then they put on the VSC, and even Max, I went back and listened to Max's radio when like the VSC was called, and shockingly he wasn't like completely throwing a tantrum in the car. Max has a really good attitude about this whole thing. I think he's just like shocked that he's even here. I think he had written himself off, and he's just kind of like, you know, like, yeah, like I'm just going to do what I can, and sometimes it happens, sometimes it doesn't.
Dude, but he is weirdly, he gets mad when someone like throws, like if somebody else throws him off the track, he gets pissed. If he thinks like a competitor has fucked him, he'll get mad. Yeah. But he is weirdly philosophical about safety cars and shit.
Yes.
I remember he got totally screwed in Jeddah by a safety car, and then Checo won that race.
Right.
And he was just kind of, it happens. I mean, he famously won a championship because of a safety car.
Right.
I think he knows that. He fucking knows.
That's right.
He knows that sometimes you eat the bar and sometimes the bar eats you. And I it's interesting that you went back and watched the safety car, watched the footage from his onboard because I think Hinchcliffe or somebody asked him about it. He goes, yeah, you know, so you win some, you lose some.
Yeah.
And even in the moment, he was like, you win some, you lose some.
But what was funny is that he said like kind of like he didn't say anything or whatever, and then he passed by and saw Albon, and he was like, he passed by and he saw Sainz, and he was like, okay, like we never drive there, like that's totally safe. We could drive, like we could go. He wasn't even that bad. He was just like that's ridiculous. And then they called it. I'm curious because Charles after the race was like, oh, thank God for that fucking VSC. Like, you know, I was fucked. But then Bearman after the race was like, no, because Laura Winter asked him like right before in the post race, they're like, I have to ask you about, you know, the VSC, whatever. And then he goes, I would have had it. I would have been fine. He wouldn't have got me. And he was like, I had my whole battery saved. I'm actually annoyed that the VSC happened because like I was ready to deploy that battery and like Piastri was going to get me. Did you have a thought on like? It felt like Max's overtake was more on.
Yeah, Max's overtake was so much more on than
Piastri's.
Than Piastri's. I also think that's such a Leclerc thing to say too. I think Leclerc is way more likely to walk into a final exam being like, I'm so fucked. You know, that's just more his attitude.
Right.
Didn't study at all. I'm totally screwed. But no, I think Bearman had a better chance of defending Oscar than Leclerc did against Max.
Well, because they were also 100%. They were on the same. There wasn't really like a tire delta between Bearman and Oscar, whereas there was with Leclerc and Max. So that was a tougher ask, but you know we still got robbed of that. But I guess before we get into our awards, we should talk about the state of the championship. Because we've got a new world order here. Got a fucking new world order.
New sheriff in town.
New sheriff in town. Lando Norris, if I may throw on the Delulu hat, my friend. Lando Norris is now leading this championship by one single solitary point with 357 points. Oscar Piastri is in second with 356. Max Verstappen behind both of them with 321. So the gap between Max and Lando is 36 points, 35 between him and Oscar. I don't even know. I mean, this has been a shakeup that I don't think either one of us really saw. I saw it maybe a little bit more than you. I said in the last episode, I leave room, and I said at the live show, I leave room for Lando Norris winning this championship, even though everyone was counting him out.
Oh my God.
You think what?
Well, it depends. It depends, right? It depends when you want to say who had more hope than the other person, right?
Oh, well, I think
because after Zandvoort, you're like, it's over. It's over. I go, what the fuck are you talking about? It's not over at all.
I've obviously been on the fucking roller coaster that is Lando Norris, but in the last, few weeks, I've left some room, and this weekend, Lando Norris is a fucking Lando Norris coming out party, and you know what? The Mexican fans didn't like it because my boy got fucking booed. He got booed up and down by the Mexican fans. But beyond that, I just, he, I believe, hit a new gear this week. And, between the dominance in qualifying, obviously Oscar has, lost some type of step the last couple of weeks. I think this race was a really good race for his confidence. I think there was we were on the Patreon and you were pretty fucking down.
I'm less depressed. I'm less depressed after Mexico.
Yes.
The race. If you look at, it's not quite the Lulu hat time, but if you after looking at the Austin race pace and then the Mexico quali, I was like, whoa, this is really bad. But now after the Mexico race, I think he did pretty well. He had pretty good pace. He made some good moves. Like, this is the Oscar we're used to.
Yes.
Decent pace, great moves, decisive, ballsy. This is what we signed up for.
Yes.
Now the question is can he get his quali mojo back?
Yeah.
Can he get the quali mojo back? And hold on one second.
Yep.
Will McLaren not fuck him? Like,
okay. Let's go.
I don't know, dude. I think I'm leaving the door open for a little bit of collusion. That's all. A little bit of collusion. I think Oscar liked the car a little bit more in the first half of the season. I think they made a few adjustments. They don't like it so much anymore. Don't know why. I don't know. I can't prove that there's a correlation between the way they fixed the car, with the suspension change.
Uh-huh.
I don't know if it's causation.
To be clear, they made that suspension change a while ago, and Oscar Piastri was in pretty fine form at times with that suspension.
When did they make that suspension? Like after Canada?
Yeah.
After Canada.
Yeah.
I think
was it after Canada?
Oscar
I think it was before
Oscar
Canada.
Oscar was more dominant in the first half of the season than he's been in the second half of the season. If you remember, Oscar clawed back a 26-point gap, like rapidly, like at the end of China, he was back. He was in the lead. He had a real advantage, I think, in those early races, and then in the midpoint they made an adjustment. I would say 12 races and they made an adjustment. I'm not even going to get into, the fucking team order bullshit or the strategy bullshit. I'm not even going to get into that.
Right.
But obviously my delusional hat is on. There is a small part of me that thinks that, Lando's second dad runs the team. So he's got a disadvantage here. He's got his work cut out for him. I'm not saying it's impossible. I'm saying he's got his work cut out for him.
What I'll say is whatever adjustments they made this week, because the last few weeks they've both been off the pace. I mean, the USA at COTA, neither of them winning. Singapore, neither of them winning. Azerbaijan was obviously the fucking mess that it was.
Well, the car's just not. They just because and this is another thing. This has nothing to do with them. They were like, we got it. We don't. They're just fucking idiots. They were like, we're not going to bring any upgrades to the drivers' championship. We're good.
Right.
We're good. They're the only one. They're so confident in themselves. This is turning. this is turning into a fiasco. Because if Lando wins or Oscar wins, they're getting shown up. It's it's kind of embarrassing.
Well, we'll see. I mean, there's still 4 races left. If this McLaren can have the same type of pace from Lando or Oscar, both of them, or either one of them, and if this, type of dominance can be real, then I think, there is still room for them to maybe finish this thing kind of strong. We were kind of expecting Max Verstappen, he's won in Mexico a bunch of times, to be strong here. And, he got a podium, but, in qualifying, he was kind of, he was nowhere. And whatever, adjustments that they did make for Mexico, Lando had a dominant victory today. Mm-hmm. And I don't know how I have a feeling that these next 2 races are too, from my stupid brain, what little I can actually understand about this car and what it likes and what it doesn't like. I think Sao Paulo and Vegas will not necessarily be McLaren tracks, but Qatar and Abu Dhabi will. Those tracks will benefit the McLaren in theory. So these next 2 races are big for Max. He needs to fucking dominate, because at this point, Max is in a worse position than he was going into Mexico with regards to his, how many points he needs to make up per week in order to, take this victory. And there's going to be a sprint.
He needs to win a bunch, and then he needs to hope that Lando and Oscar don't finish in second or third.
I think he needs now, before Mexico, he needed 8 points a race in order to win this thing, and now he needs 9 points a weekend in order to win this thing. So he's going to need, in seemingly Sao Paulo or Vegas, because those should be the tracks that will be good for the Red Bull and maybe not as good for the McLaren. He needs to have a fucking weekend like he did at Coda in Sao Paulo and Vegas. If not both of those weeks, because I think come Qatar and come Abu Dhabi, that McLaren advantage will still be there. I guess my thought is, I don't know, I'm feeling pretty bullish about Lando Norris right now.
Of course you are. You should
feel
bullish.
I'm feeling like this is his championship to lose now.
I feel like shit.
Even after the race?
I feel better, but I feel like I feel deflated. I feel like, what the fuck happened? Where did the pace go?
Yeah.
Where did the quality pace go? It's just disappeared. I could make excuses for Baku. I could make excuses for Singapore. He outqualified him. Lando made a good move, and he made a good move. And I mean, it was against team orders. I mean, it was kind of against. He broke the one papaya rule. Yeah. I mean, it's like Batman. I have one rule.
Don't worry, dude. There were consequences. There were consequences.
There were consequences.
There were repercussions.
Lando, I called you Lando because you were doing that fucking hat on. Brian, there were repercussions.
Yeah, but now those repercussions are gone.
But Austin was tough, right? Austin was like he wasn't on it in qualifying, and but then the race pace wasn't there either. At least this time he had the race pace. But yeah, if Oscar is feeling like I'm feeling right now, he's fucked. Is all I'll say.
Yeah, sure.
But that's why he gets paid the big bucks, and I don't.
Yeah, I mean, he's shown that he's resilient. He's bounced back before already, like this season. I think, last year, now, they were in like kind of the prioritized Lando time, but after Brazil, that shit was fucking over. But last year, those last couple of races, Qatar,
he shat the bed,
and Abu Dhabi, those Lando had his number last year. So we'll see. I mean, as much as everyone feels like we need Max Verstappen to be the savior of this season, and as much as McLaren has been fucking, just fucking, I don't know, like a weird Tennessee Williams fucking play, or just like some weird like, oh my god, this family drama is too complicated for me to understand. We've got 4 more races. These guys are 1 point away from each other. It's a 1 point spread between these two. And Max Verstappen will need to pull off miracles in order for this championship to happen, but like, this it could be box office, baby.
Brian.
Yeah.
How delusional would it be? I'm just checking your temperature here. How delusional would it be if Lando wins and I do this? I say, well, he should have won. Oscar, it's his 3rd year. Lando's the veteran incumbent.
Right.
It would have been a fucking disaster if he didn't win.
Yeah. You're just prepping?
I'm just saying. What do you think? What do you think of that as a cope? What do you think of that as a take? I'm. You know what I'm doing right now? This is. I'm focus grouping it right now. What do we think of that?
Focus grouping your cope session. You're focus grouping.
I'm focus grouping my cope. I'm not actually proposing that, guys. What do we think? What do we think of? Because I'm preparing for that. Zach Brown. This fucking collusion going on. They fucking mentally look how they massacred my boy. I mean, after Singapore, he really kind of fell off. There was some bullshit. There was the fucking pit stop where he had to fucking switch. I mean,
right.
I mean, he acts like a robot, but he's a fucking human being. Okay, right. He's a human being. Everybody's got their breaking point. And at a certain point, so there's that element that they might have broke Lando's car one time, but they broke Oscar's fucking mind. Okay,
sure.
There's that cope.
Yeah, I mean, I would say that there are similar copes for Lando Norris within the Michigas of the McLaren organization. I would say that last year, not getting behind him, giving him, emotionally blackmailing him to give Oscar the position back, into, I think they've both been suffering from the McLaren thing. Anyway, okay, what do I think about that? I think that there is some validity to it is Oscar's 3rd year, and there's room for that. Though I would say that at times this year, Oscar has looked fully formed. Now, we're seeing, some of his struggles in qualifying. We're seeing when he actually starts out of position, when Oscar has had the luxury of being in a very good car for most of his Formula One career. And then when he is not in the top 2 rows, sometimes he fucking shits the bed. Even today, that start, he lost 2 places on the start. Like if that was Lando Norris losing 2 places on the start, we know what the fucking what the vibe would have been. So I leave room for that Oscar Piastri to improve and get better. I don't think that there's that much of the I think that I think the Piastri Nation is fucking out here fucking scrambling because this is not the boy that they thought they fucking signed up for, as you said multiple times. I'm shocked on the other side because the boy that I thought that I signed up for all of a sudden is now pulling in some clutch moments. So, I mean, whatever, have your cope. That's your cope to have. So own it and take it. But, if Lando does win this championship, as I've said before, it was kind of let this kid Lando just needs one. You know what I mean? Then Oscar, whatever, take it, fucking run with it. Just fucking, you can have it. But my hopes for Lando Norris are not that he's a multi WDC winner. I just want him to have one. I just want one. So if this is his best shot to get it, then I want him to fucking get it. And whatever. Honestly, from that point on, it's gravy, and Oscar can stay at McLaren and win the next 3 years, and I won't care because I'll at least have the one. That's my honest kind of feeling about this whole thing.
Yeah, it's just tough because you don't. I don't think the loser of this really survives. That's
I know. I was kind of feeling that too.
I don't think the loser of that survives. They're going to be diminished.
I kind of feel whoever is on top of this thing next year will be kind of the guy.
It's not like fucking American Idol where you can like come in second and fucking
Yeah.
or Love Island, right? Where you don't necessarily have
Right.
to win to win. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
That's the problem. It's. I mean, look, it can happen. I guess it just feels like whoever wins is going to sort of push the other one out of the nest. And even if not, who's to say that McLaren will ever be in the? Who's to say either of these guys will ever be in the position again?
Yeah, I mean, this might be the one and only shot. So we'll see. I mean, I think Oscar's got to figure something out. He's got to find something because this is a big momentum. You know, this sport, it's going to be a lot about momentum. And obviously, you know, the momentum right now is with Lando. I mean, this was a dominant fucking victory. Like, everyone behind him was just like having to work so hard in this race, and he was just, you know, raindrops are falling on my head out in front. You know, I don't know. I was for him to honestly nail. We've said how many times we watch him fucking blow a start, dude. We've watched him blow a start so many times. Almost every time. And this was like one of the most important times to not blow a start at one of the hardest places to nail a start from P1. And he fucking nailed it. So, you know, we'll see.
I guess
I don't know. There's still a lot of season left, baby. It's 1 point. There's 1 point between them.
I guess, and then what do we do? What do we do with the? What do we do with the? Is also part of the problem that like now we've seen both these guys make so many mistakes.
Yeah, I mean, I think that regardless, in terms of the power rankings, the F1
wins,
the F1 power rankings, both of these guys are not going to be, I think, in people's minds, considered the same level of Max and probably Leclerc and even probably George. To me, they sit like one rung below those guys. But you know what?
We don't know what. Here's the thing: we don't know what Leclerc and Russell would do under that level of pressure. We just don't. We haven't seen it yet.
Yeah.
So the jury's kind of out. Leclerc in 2022 had a moment where he was kind of with Max, and he made some mistakes. Remember in France?
Oh yeah.
Where he just fucking lost it.
Miami.
I mean, what happened to Miami?
He in qualifying, I think, threw it into the barriers, and that was kind of. Yeah. And then Max was off to the races.
So yeah, I mean, I think the only person that the only two people that we know that can like operate under that level of pressure consistently with making minimal mistakes are Max and Lewis.
Yeah.
The other. Yeah, it's easy to say that, you know, Leclerc and George are you know, have been relatively faultless, but they're just not operating under the same level of pressure.
Definitely.
So that's to be charitable to the two McLaren guys.
Yeah.
But I think that might be kind of part of the problem that we're running into with you know, the box officeness of this championship.
I mean, I know it's annoying and everyone's fed up with it, but they're 1 fucking point away from each other and their teammates going for a first championship. It is crazy drama here. Hopefully they will. I mean,
I think it's cool. I'm just trying to analyze why it doesn't seem to be doing it. It doesn't seem to be getting the people going.
No, I mean, fucking dude. I mean, Lando got fucking booed off of that podium. I wonder.
Was he booed?
Yes, dude. He was fully booed. Booed. The first time he spoke, it was like a little bit like, are they booing? And then Max spoke, and there was big cheers, and then Charles spoke, and then there was big cheers, and then Hinchcliffe talked to Lando again, and then there was more booing, and then Lando kind of like didn't know what to do, and Hinchcliffe kind of looked at him and shrugged like, Sorry, dude. Like, I don't know. It's part of it. And I think Lando
here's my question. Here's my question.
He said, like, it's my job to just like do my job and not pay attention to this. Not to pay attention to the hate and whatever. Yeah, but I think I'm curious if Oscar had been in that position, and Oscar had dominated that race, whether he would have been.
You
booed.
think they would have booed him? You think? Here's the question: you think they're booing Lando, or you think they're booing anybody that's getting away in the way of this Max fucking thing?
I think so. I think honestly, I saw some pictures, some videos. There were some fights at the race, and it was apparently Ferrari versus Red Bull fights. And I think that there's a lot of Red Bull Mexican fans off of the Checo kind of
Why didn't they leave in droves?
I don't know. It's just, you bought the fucking gear and you spent years kind of supporting the team. And I don't know if they I don't think they necessarily hate Max. Clearly they don't. He was fucking there and they were cheering for him hugely. Yeah. And I think, those teams hold more weight probably in Mexico than McLaren does. People maybe just don't give a fuck about McLaren.
Well, Red Bull is a huge presence in Mexico.
Yes.
They do show runs that, because of Checo, they made an effort.
Right.
They got the fucking Checo Red Bull cans and
though I do think the booze would have been not maybe, I don't know, Lando's just like he could be
more of a lightning rod.
He's a lightning rod. Anyway, speaking of lightning rods, let's go to our fucking awards. Hottest moment of the day.
It's gotta be the resurrection of 2021, right?
Ooh, yeah.
Lewis and Max fucking
rubbing
each other. Oh, beautiful.
Yeah. I would give it to that. I'd also give it to Piastri's overtake on Russell. Piastri's overtake on Russell was pretty fucking sick, nasty, delicious. There were so many hot moments. I mean, the three, it was, Max and fucking Lewis going at it,
the three wide,
4 wide, and then Bearman kind of comes through that whole sequence. This whole race was sexy as fuck.
Amazing, yeah.
This is a race where it was almost like too complicated for like a new fan. You know what I mean? Like there was too much going on almost, but like this is a race that you would want to like sit down with someone and kind of just like explain everything that's going on, like and for people to really get the full breadth of why a Formula One race can be so exciting. This race had it all. I would say that's like the whole fucking Mexican GP is hottest moment of the day. Daddy of the day. You know who I'm gonna give it to?
It's Lando, right?
Daddy Lando, baby. I don't think we've ever given him Daddy of the Day before. I don't think we've ever done. I don't think this may be a first for him. Lando Norris, fucking Daddy. He sunned everyone this week, dude. He sunned everyone.
It was his Simba moment where he in the rain.
Everything the light touches belongs to you.
And Scar is just like his race starts. Guys like me calling him a fucking choke artist bitch. He's just
all the haters, bro.
Just all guys like haters. Me. Of course, Your Majesty.
Yeah, dude.
And then he's hooked up with his Nala, and he's good. He's chilling.
That's right.
Remember who you are, Lando Norris. Honestly, with a name like, also doesn't Lando sound like a name that someone would have in The Lion King?
This
is Timon, Pumbaa, and Lando.
Yeah.
I mean, who needs Hakuna Matata more than Lando Norris?
No, fucking dude. It means no worries.
He's got Timon and Pumbaa. Baby. He's got Timon and Pumbaa laying out the tape because You know what's crazy?
Yeah.
There's all these stories around the tape, right? Aren't Red Bull pieces of shit for removing Lando's tape?
Right.
Lando's got his special tape. He's got his tape to help him with his starts. And maybe they all do the tape, but in my head I go, is he the only guy that uses the tape?
I think he might be.
I'm like, where is the story about how this guy is the only guy in the whole sport that gets his own special tape? And Red Bull's like, fuck that noise.
Well, now they've because in the on Sky in the pre-race they were doing the grid walk, and they went over to the tape, and the tape actually has like things in it to be that if it's ripped out, it won't fully rip off. Like it's kind of like got fault lines on it.
Yeah, he's got his little nightlight. You can't take away Lando's nightlight. He's got a backup nightlight underneath because he's scared of the dark.
That's right, dude. Hey, whatever gets him through the fucking night. No, you're right. I mean, that's what he said in his British Vogue article. Is that, it means no worries for the rest of your days. It's that problem free. maybe
but
no
here's the problem. Here's the problem. Maybe no WDC.
Maybe no WDC. Hakuna Matata.
But here's the thing.
Yeah.
What's interesting, actually, fucking Lion King is a brilliant movie.
Yeah.
Because when they ask him, when they go, what happened to you? How'd you end up here? He goes, I don't want to talk about it. Yeah. And they go, great, we don't want to hear about it. Hakuna Matata.
Yeah.
Because that is about like not confronting your past, not confronting any problems. What we realize is Hakuna Matata only gets you so far in life. That's eventually, right. You got to confront the monsters. You gotta look Scar in the face. You got to stare down your past, and maybe it was your fault. Maybe it wasn't. You got to like look Scar in the eyes and face it down. And I think, and maybe that is kind of his journey if he wants to be a winner, right?
Right. We'll see.
There's a fine balance between Hakuna Matata and being, you don't want to deep it too hard.
Right.
You don't want to take things too seriously, but you don't want to be completely Hakuna Matata.
Totally. And I think you're right. But so at some point, I believe it's been a minute since I've seen Lion King, but at some he's hanging, right? It's okay. He's got the trauma.
No, but then Nala shows up. And then Nala shows up.
Yes.
And it's like, what are you doing? The coyotes are fucking everything up. You can't just Hakuna Matata your way through life. Like, at some point, someone's got to be like, Oscar Piastri's running away with your birthright.
Right.
What are you doing? Right. You got to wake up.
Right. And
you can't just hang out with Max Futrell.
Max Verstappen's Scar.
Yes.
And Oscar Piastri are the Coyotes. You're right. Oscar Piastri's he's like, it's us. But then Scar's the real, and Lando's now re-entered the chat as Max Verstappen's kind of re-entered the chat.
Yes.
And here's the thing. I think today, you're exactly right. This was him kind of coming back to Pride Rock to be like,
yes,
I'm back, bitches. But he's still got to fucking confront Scar.
He's got to confront Scar and the hyenas.
And he's got to see if he can fucking... I just can't wait to be king if he can be king.
Well, that is... I can't thank you enough for bringing that up because that's another great song, right? He goes, I just can't wait. That was him when he got there, right? When he got to F1, he's like, I just can't wait to be king. I feel no sympathy for Daniel Ricciardo. Lewis Hamilton's in the best car. If you have the best car, it's fucking easy. And then that's why a lot of people fucking don't like him because he was like, once I'm in the best car, I will be the. And it's like, it's not so easy, bitch. Like just being in the best car. First, you got to beat your teammate, and then you got to beat fucking Max Verstappen, right? It's not so fucking easy.
Yeah.
And like when he says, I just can't wait to be king. You're forgetting, your dad has to get killed first for you to.
Yes.
He's missing all the. So, getting confronted with that reality has been a huge thing for him to have to confront. I stumbled through that, but you guys get the point. He's literally going through the Simba arc. He gets to F1. He's Zazu. It's like
he's the prince.
He's the annoying kid.
Yeah.
And can he grow up?
Right.
From to the Simba that
fucking
on the days we walked in
Jenny saying next
Jenny
award.
just wrote next award. Okay.
I think we beat the fucking Lion King metaphor into the fucking ground. Because hair loss, it's not just about your hair. It's about how you feel when you look in the mirror. And Hims helps you take back your confidence with access to simple, personalized care that fits your lifestyle. Tired of trying to figure out what actually works for hair loss? Through Hims, you get access to clear solutions, expert guidance, and an online process that takes the confusion out of the care. Hims offers convenient access to a range of prescriptions for hair loss treatments with ingredients that work, including chews, oral medications, serums, and sprays. Doctor-trusted, clinically proven ingredients like finasteride and minoxidil can stop further hair loss and regrow hair in as little as 3 to 6 months. No hidden fees, no surprise costs, just real personalized care on your schedule. Think of Hims as your digital front door that gets you back to your old self with simple 100% online access to trusted treatments for real health concerns all in one place. For simple online access to personalized and affordable care for hair loss, ED, weight loss, and more, visit hims.com/redflags. That's hims.com/redflags for your free online visit. Once again, hims.com/redflags. Individual results may vary based on studies of topical and oral minoxidil and finasteride. Featured products include compound drug products, which the FDA does not approve or verify for safety, effectiveness, or quality. Prescription required. See website for full details, restrictions, and important safety information. All right. Radio of the day.
It's George Russell. Next award.
George Russell.
It's obviously, yeah.
Also, shout out to GP being like, we had one stop or two stop. What are we doing? It's like I can still fucking hear you, dude. I can still hear you. It's like, oh, my bad, Max. All right, Karen of the day. George Russell.
Well, I'm supportive of it.
Yeah.
Fuck this kid who just got here. Get out of my way.
Yeah.
Get out of my way. I'm fucking bodying you. I'm out qualifying you almost every week. Get the fuck out of my way. I don't care about your ego, okay?
Yeah. And red flag of the day.
My red flag of the day goes to the FIA.
Yep.
Giving a 10-second penalty to Lewis and fucking ruining the race at the end.
Yeah.
And I said this. We did an interview with James Allen. He asked me, like, what do you think Formula One needs to do to grow? I said to him, I don't know. Not have a fucking shambles of a governing body where the head guy looks like Cruella de Vil, photobombs, runs unopposed, and he has guys. The stewards are unpaid. Okay, there's two kinds of people that do unpaid work, right? Interns, kids, and rich old fucks. Okay, they're not professionals. Okay, if you want to be because F1 used to be like a gentleman's sport that was not professional. It was like pro-am, gentleman's sport. But now you can't have it both ways. You can't play with the big boys. You can't play with the NBA. NBA is a bad example currently, but you can't call yourselves like a legitimate sports league like the NFL, the NBA, Premier League soccer, and having basically unpaid interns decide people's races.
Yeah.
And also the safety of the sport. You can't have it. You can't have Cruella de Vil running a fucking dictatorship that's running the governing body of the sport. You can't have it.
Yeah.
It's a joke. It's a fucking joke. And I think it ruined the race today. It ruined the race at the end. I mean, I get that safety is really important, but first of all, They should have pulled him out of the race. They should have pulled him out. I've said this before.
Well, that's whatever. That's not the I mean, whatever. That's beyond it.
They could have
point. It was safe. He was fucking safe. Like he was there. You couldn't even fucking see him. It's in the slowest part of the track where no one overtakes there. Max Verstappen drove by and he's like, that's not a fucking threat to us.
We should never be talking about these fucking guys. Ever. They should never come up.
Yeah. No, it's crazy. Now, your red flag.
And you know what? And you know what? Here's the thing. In Major League Baseball, in NBA, in the NBA, refs make mistakes. They do.
Yeah.
But we understand that there's a insane vetting process that these guys have to go through. They have to take tests. The umpires, they start in the minor leagues. They work their way up. They start in college. They analyze. They break down like how many calls these guys got right in single A baseball games. And like the ones that have the higher approval ratings, there's a meritocracy. Okay. So when a guy makes it to the top of the league, when a guy makes it to the NBA, or when a guy makes it to the NFL or at Major League Baseball, at least when he makes a bad call, you go, okay, but at least I understand that there was a process, and this guy was the best of the best.
And then if they make too many bad calls, they get demoted.
Fucking rid of,
they get fucking fired.
Right. So,
but none of the people making these calls are even hired.
There's no process. There's no meritocracy. I mean, the guy who was elected in the FIA is running unopposed.
Yeah, seemingly the decision to put out the VSC, that was the race director, but what a fucking mess that was. Just a fucking mess. All right, so that's your red flag. My red flag is the
race director. Doesn't he work for the FIA?
Yeah, but he's hired. He's like an employee at least.
Because they had a mass exodus. You don't remember like a lot of those guys left. This is the guy who this was next man up.
Yeah.
Okay? They fired Michael Massey. I think another guy left. And now this is the next, we're on our fourth string quarterback here. For fuck's sake.
That's your red flag of the day. My red flag of the day is this broadcast team. Whoever makes these decisions about what to put up when. I mean, the whole weekend was a fucking mess. Even in qualifying. You're looking at the end of the race and you're looking to see, from Q2 into Q3 when Piastri was like maybe not going to make it into Q3, it was like maybe there was a second there where is he actually going to make it? And then they had his time.
In the small one.
Yeah, they show the time. They don't have the relevant person who their time is relevant to on the fucking screen. I mean, between that, all the fucking the fucking Michigas with not even just showing whose timing we're looking at in qualifying. And then today we have that insane start. Then you have like 5 laps of nothing happening where you can show us the start because all that's being talked about is what happened with the start. What happened with the start? We want to see what happened with the start. They don't show us anything. And the second they do decide to show us, you're missing the best track action that happens all day. The amount of times that they will, at one point they were like, "Oh, Russell went long," and then they show Lance Stroll in P17. I'm like, what the fuck are you guys doing? You've been doing this for long enough, and you know what? Apple now has the rights, right? Apple now has the rights to Formula One. The people at Apple need to take a good long look and have a say over who's making these calls. What are we showing on screen and improve the user experience? Because this sport is all these things happen like this. I understand it's a difficult thing, but you've been doing this for fucking 30 years. This shit's been on television. 40 years this shit's been on television. Figure it the fuck out.
And you also made another good point. In qualifying, you always say this when we're watching quality together. Show all the times. They'll show like one guy's time. Show everybody's times.
Or everyone that's fucking relevant. Like the top 5 people. There's 5 things that are happening like in qualifying that we care about. I don't give a fuck. about whether Gabriel Bortoleto makes it into Q3. I'm happy if he does. Great. Bully for him. But baby, we got a championship battle, and I need Lando Norris, Max Verstappen, and fucking and Oscar Piastri's time every single fucking qualifying from now until the end of the year to be on screen at all times.
Yeah, but I think you're right. I think in Q3 or Q2, Oscar was on a critical lap, and they were showing George Russell's onboard. And I was thinking,
and Oscar's in the corner, small. I'm like, what the fuck are you doing? They don't like know. And this is what I was saying on the Patreon of like, now they're like framing this championship as being exciting because Max has entered the chat. Now they're like doing all this, fucking, 4-time world champion comes for the McLaren boy. Like they're doing all that kind of shit. But like, they don't know like where to put their focus. They're so like concerned with like
ADHD.
Showing every they just want to make sure they're like, well, we've got to show this person because like we have to show George Russell. It's like not really actually. There's a championship battle. That's what people give a fuck about at this point of the season. We have someone we don't know who's going to win this championship. We need to prioritize making sure that we know what the fuck is going on between those three people. Even today, dude, they were fucking showing. They did the restart right after the VSC ends. After the VSC ends, it's like, I know that Lando won the race. I'm a Lando fan, but I don't need to see him fucking cross the finish line when Max Verstappen is still chasing Charles Leclerc. I don't give a fuck.
Yeah, that's part of the. That's a Sky thing, dude. That's totally British bias for sure.
But it's like they all use
the same
feed.
From England,
but they all
use
this. They all have to deal with the same feed. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like they have the broadcast is what the broadcast is, and then the commentators are doing what they're gonna do. But the fucking, they're all using the same shit. Mm-hmm. It's just a mess, and it is really compromising the fucking user experience. Like it's compromising our ability to like fully enjoy this sport. And it's been a mess all year. It's been a mess all the fucking year.
F1 should hire us.
That's my red flag.
F1 should hire us.
They should. Okay, fuck, marry, kill this podium. Max, Charles,
Charles, fucking raw, no question. Marrying Max, killing Lando.
I am marrying Lando because he's on his way to his fucking Simba moment, baby. And call me Nala. Call me Nala.
You're making those fuck me eyes to him right now.
That's right. Fucking Lando killing Max. All right. Brazil is next. What are your predictions? What do you think's happening?
Max, Oscar, Lando.
Ooh.
Sunshine, blue skies, please go away. My God has found another, and I wish it would rain. Oh, how I wish that it would rain. Rain,
dude, I looked up the weather in Sao Paulo. I looked at the weather in Sao Paulo this week. I mean, hopefully it stays, but like as of right now, it's just raining there.
Yes, yes, let it rain. Let it rain from the sky. The tears of my eyes.
Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, it's raining. Friday, no rain. Saturday, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, it's raining. So hopefully,
let's fucking go, dude. Let's fucking go.
Well, here's the thing: if it rains, we know that
it's over. It's over.
That Max Verstappen's winning that race. Honestly, if it rains, I think it's maybe going to be like Max Verstappen, George Russell, fucking like, someone Nico Hulkenberg or some shit.
Yeah,
like some
exactly.
Random ass thing. No, I think Max is winning.
We need that.
I think Max is winning. Honestly, I think no McLaren's on the podium. I think it's going to go Max, George, Lewis. Okay. Max, George, Lewis. I think that the McLarens might not have it, and they'll be like in like 5th and 6th. Fuck, dude. This is one of the best races ever. It's one of my favorite races I've ever watched.
What about? I feel like we've had better races.
I mean, there have been better. This year, I'm not even that sure. This year, I don't know. This might have been the best race of the year to me.
Well, for you.
Yeah, I didn't have to stress about Lando, and I just got to be like, "Oh my God, everything's all crazy." And okay, hold on.
Ahead.
We did Brazil. We did Brazil prediction. What championship prediction? What do you think?
Oscar Piastri. And I think that Lando Norris is winning this championship.
Yes.
And yes.
Okay, this is a good fucking season, people. It's a good season. But before we get to that, we got to thank our daddies of the pod. We got to thank Kayla, Robin, Jordan Texera, Jay Lingle, Spencer Grieve, Javier Mera, Sheila Valeri, Chandler, Ali Santana, Carla, Juarlo, Kimberly, Whalen, Alonso of My Face 69, Donya Dana, Deadbeat Daddy Muhammad, Jimmy, Kimmy, sponsored by Mommy of the Pod, Hollister 584, Delusional Science Fan, Cat, Future Dr. Dion, Steph Grossi, JB Fresh, Laura, Emily Gillenwater, Cody Hull is my F1 daddy, Branch W, Keep Up the Science Hate, Hunter Scruggs, Salmonella, Mozzarella, I'm a Leclerc fan, and yes, it hurts, Jay Kess, George Russell is Evil Peter Parker from Spider-Man 3, Matt Edwards is always right, I wish I was Max and Danny's love child, Delaney Andrews, Henry Caskey, Miles Lewis Alexander, Maggie B, Kelly Breyer, Eva the Y, Devin, aka the future Dr. Sullivan's PA, Courtney Frazier, Yuka Sonoda's other mother, Jenny is the reason I am a daddy, Megan, Aaron, Pineapple with a Y. Matt has a secret boner for Carlos Sainz. Unfortunately, it's Gary. Carolina. My name is AJ, and fuck the HOA. K-Mag can fuck smash my door any day. The official F1 race program and its executive editor, Sarah. I got tickled by the Tifosi. Hey, Jet, good luck out there. Allison Sane, Zhuge, F1 Dude Company, Trent Slickman, Code Brown Sonoda, Jerome Ferreira, Colapinto is a fraud, Aaron, Shahid, Jeans Rockstar, Chohun, Shake and Bake, Kata, Lick My Balls, Stay Fierce, Charles Leclerc, Truth Bringer, Mama Burns, Arthur Leclerc is hotter, Carlos Sainz, OP Goblin, Right Meow, James, DNCTT, Finney, Daddy Kev, not Magnuson, Mike, Bavi, Lando Norris's unofficial girlfriend, Winkin, future co-host of Red Flags podcast, and our newest daddy, Lizzie Y, obviously honorary pod daddy of the pod this week, every week, Nicole Piastri. If you want to become a daddy of the pod, go to patreon.com/TRFpod and become a benefactor today. We love you, Vankas.
Hasta luego, Vancas, cabrons.
Damn, I'm a boss. I'm a red flag heavy hitter.